With over 30 years of broadcasting experience, John King has made a name for himself in Dayton broadcasting and throughout the country. John came to WING in Dayton from Springfield's WIZE, and as John's career mushroomed, most Daytonians will remember him for his on-air performances with the late Terry Dorsey on WING. Their hilarious, innovative on-air antics, such as the King and Dorsey Report, kept them number one with their fans. John was the straight man to Terry's off-the-wall comedy and comments. John and the late Greg Garris were also a memorable duo as the Blues Brothers, or the Wing Brothers, during WING's many promotions and appearances. But John's skill set didn't stop there. It also included the programming and business side of radio, as evident by his involvement and successful launching of WGTZ-FM, Eaton Dayton Alive, and the Z Morning Zoo. John helped guide the career of Hall of Famer Kim Ferris, along with many other notable radio personalities.
He's the type of guy, you give him a job to do, he sees the direct way to do it, and he does it. You don't worry about did it get done, was it on time? It was done right, done on time, and he could do anything, especially when it came to ideas. A couple of my best John King stories were involved with the old-time newsies. There was a press party at the old Grammars in the Oregon district. He decides it'd be a great idea to add some pizzazz to it because we always wanted to have a bit or some comedy or something like that. John, being a motorcycle lover and a writer, in the middle of the party, the door opens up and he roars into the restaurant on a motorcycle and revs it up and all that and parks it and then sits down like nothing happened. Everybody just busted up laughing. They thought it was great. Another time with we had a promotion at Courthouse Square. We're trying to think of some ideas, and John says, well, you know, there's this movie out, and it's the Blues Brothers, and I know some guys in bands, and Greg Garris here, the late Greg Garris, he's a salesman. We know how to do this. They came out as the Blues Brothers. They call themselves the Wing Brothers, and they knocked everybody dead. So he knew how to put the show in show business. He also learned how to put the business into business, and that's why John became very successful during his stint at Wing Radio and Z93 for the birth of Z93, and then later on winning all the awards he did all over the country, came back to Dayton to run the same group of stations on David Road for Alpha Media, was very successful at that. I can't say enough about the guy.
John's 30-year career took him from radio personality to regional president, senior vice president, general manager, operations manager, and program director at different radio stations throughout the country. John was recognized by the Country Music Association as the Radio General Manager of the Year 4 times. After a long career in broadcasting, John recently retired from Alpha Media USA as Dayton's Senior Vice President and Marketing Manager. Welcome, John King, as he truly has earned his place in the 2017 class of the Dayton Area Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Thanks. I promise this is not long. I just needed a really large font. Hey, I wanted to get in radio as, I don't know, pretty young person because I thought it was cool. And I thought all the people that I heard on the radio were incredibly cool. And so therefore, I thought, if I get on the radio, I'll be cool. And the girls will think I'm cool. It did not work out that way. But I did discover a business for which I had a great passion. When I get to looking at all the folks that have been inducted in this Hall of Fame, I realized I had the great honor of working with 14 of the current members. Jim Bennett was kind enough to give me a job. I was like the weekend guy and the second guy in production. I don't think either of those positions exist anymore in radio. But, and then George Weimer, kissing my butt up here on the screen. George was the operations manager and gave me my first program director job. And when people ask me about George, I say, that cat is a genius. Actually, I worked with 14 of the current members of the Hall of Fame, and I learned something from every one of them. I also got to work with the late, great Terry Dorsey, which was a joy, a joy. And we stayed in touch for many, many years. We had some great adventures and mad, crazy fun in those days, so when I was asked to come back to the East David Road Studios 3 years ago to be the general manager, it was surreal. Lots of interesting, crazy, funny memories came flooding back. If they would have had today's HR rules back then, I'd be in prison. I am honored to be here tonight, especially in the company of my family and wonderful friends. My beautiful wife, Sandy, is back there with number one son, Johnny, and his gal, Annie, my mom and stepfather, Austin, my sister, Linda, and her family, and a group of the best friends anybody could ever hope to have as here tonight. I got to tell you, with all of them here, this is just about as good as it gets for me. It really is. I spent more years in this business out of Dayton than in, and got to work with some of the absolute best in the business. Bill Stakelin, thank you for being here tonight. It's an honor. And I got to do some amazing things, just crazy. A guy from Northridge High School would never imagine possible. But I'll say, as much fun as I ever had was my days on Wing Radio in Dayton, Ohio. That was some damn fun. This Hall of Fame thing tonight, totally unexpected, probably not deserved, but I'm very humbly and respectfully thankful. Thank you.